to a large extent. However, despite all this, there are the positive aspects here and there. Now you can see we're having this online meeting discussion. Because of the lockdown. It's a result of the lockdown. Hitherto to now, we have never had this kind of activity. And I think we should look at it also from that perspective, that further broaden up our scope in terms of an institution to reach out, having to connect with our colleagues in other institutions, also internationally. I think, yes, this is another positive aspect of the lockdown. Yes, because there are no lectures ongoing now, laboratories are virtual closed, but I'm sure there are individuals who on their own maybe have work or they're still having enough time to go and do their own researches. So in Gombe State University, let me say, certainly the laboratory the researches and other things are seriously affected because of this. Well, I can tell you there are other windows of opportunities that open up for others. For them, for the medical sciences, why the pandemic, they are the frontliners. And there's a lot of researches that are actively ongoing there. I know I'm in the task force of the COVID-19 response in the state. And of course, I know my colleagues who are in the case management and the surveillance. They're doing a lot of research in terms of collecting data of patients who have been found to be positive with COVID-19, both in terms of the biographic data of the patient and other clinical information. Just like we very well know that this disease is something, it's a novel thing. There are so many things that questions have not been answered. And we're using this opportunity to develop a very good data. At the end of the day, after the pandemic, we're able to go back and look at all those informations and be able to analyze it and come up with something new that will further inform society, the community, and the international community on the so many aspects of the COVID-19 or coronavirus that is not known. So, like I said, one window is closed, another opportunity has been opened. And I think this is something what we're doing here. We're also working on to establish another molecular laboratory where we're able to do some diagnosis and continue with the research and also subsequently teaching our students on some of this, try to update our equipment. We're reaching out to organizations that are going to support us in this regard, and we're working towards it. And we hope very soon we're going to get a very positive response to do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Yes, we really appreciate the fact that you've helped us to see that it's not just the negative aspect we should be seeing. There are a lot of positive impacts, but of course, it has to do with people looking at it creatively, just like this gathering we are having. We also want to inquire still on the challenges. So, Dr. Onwudike Jumbo, we are welcoming you once again. We also want to find out how has this ongoing lockdown impacted on research and academic activities. First, generally in the United Kingdom and specifically in your own institution. Dr. Onwudike Jumbo, please.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. So in terms of how it has impacted us, it's really impacted a lot of research, collaborations especially, and the fact that people can't even go into the research labs anymore. If you have to go in, like, it has to be really, really serious. You have to get permission to be able to go into the labs. So yes, in that aspect, it has impacted us, and the fact that we're limited by environment where we need to do our research. But notwithstanding, as an individual and working in a team, I've been able to do my research independently because, like Professor El Nafati said, like, there are blessings in COVID. And so many things that haven't been done, like time you haven't had to catch up on research, you now have time to sit down, do some reading, analyze data, so which is really good. So there are blessings in this. I know like people in like departments of biology or zoology would be really impacted, and the impact varies from department to department, school to school. So for me in computer sciences, I don't necessarily have to be in a lab delivering my lecture. I could actually do it online. The major impact I have felt was moving all my teaching online. Normally we develop lectures and put them online, but you have the face-to-face delivery. Now we're not doing that. You're having to prepare lectures to be delivered to students who may not be able to like tune into the lecture at the appropriate time, and making sure that you're making your lecture slides and making your lecture content adaptable. So in terms of adaptability, I've had to look at the different types of students and the different types of learners I have, make sure that I am tailoring my work to suit them. So that's one of the things that I've faced as an individual. In terms of a research group, we've still been able to come together virtually to do all of our research. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Owodike Jumbo. If I would like to quote you, you said there is blessing in COVID. And I think, yes, for those who take advantage of this, I guess is opening our eyes to an alternative online delivery, even though the face-to-face contact is still missing. And I think you also acknowledge those who are actually carrying out laboratory research are affected. We've been able to get Professor Ajagana's mic unmuted. So, Professor Ajagana, we like to come back to you. Yes, we want to find out how have you been affected personally by this ongoing COVID-19 lockdown. Prof, please.
Thank you very much, Prof, and morning, everyone. Actually, this lockdown has impacted positively and as well as negatively on us. But as far as my personal work is concerned, I'm trying to process some of my data that has been generated, particularly my students in Maiduguri. I have recently graduated one, a PhD student, so I'm trying to now generate, process the data to bring out article out of it. And more so, the other thing I actually thought about, I'm trying to look into, this kind of thing, if happens as a researcher or academic, what we actually do is to now contribute our quota to solve the problem and the challenges. And now I'm thinking of designing a concept where we can be able to see if we can be able to give a clue how to develop our own vaccine as far as this COVID-19 is concerned. Because development of vaccine, I say, is very expensive. It's not something that you can be just do it overnight or just anyhow. It requires collaboration. It requires a team. But actually, you have to start somewhere. So what I'm thinking is that now, if these people are actually, because there are some people that said they are positive, they have gone through the sickness and they have recovered. So if they have recovered, then they have developed antibody against this actual viral antigen. So now by taking at their serum, we can be able to now analyze actual antibody that has been created to fight back the disease. So based on that, then we'll have a concept to develop an antibody. And the other aspect actually I'm thinking about is to see if we can be able to look our medicinal, because Africa is rich in medicinal plants. And even now I'm working in some medicinal plants as per my own research, that is plants that have anti-cancer activity. So we are also, I'm thinking of if we can be able to look for medicinal plant that can, even some people now claim that it has medicinal plant, this COVID-19 disease. So I'm looking at if we can be able to now think about this along this line, so that we can be able to also start something. Because it's only when challenges come, then you will start thinking of how are you going to contribute your quota. So these are the kind of thing I'm thinking now actually. And the other issue is that because the general overview, we need to now, as we've started this, now we need to link now and then to start at least maybe symposia, the talk like this kind of talk, or mini laboratory talk within our own unit, within the universities, to because we cannot just stay like this because the pandemic has now locked down, so that we just stay like this and forget about the academic activities. I don't think this is good enough. So I'm also thinking along this line. So that is it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prof. We still go on. Dr. Mustafa, my co-host, may want to follow up with some question. Dr. Mustafa, please.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. And it's really a pleasure having all of you on board in order to discuss the challenges of conducting research and academic activities during pandemic. So my question goes to the Vice Chancellor first, Professor El Nafati. Of course, there are a lot of challenges considering the situation we found ourselves as a result of the pandemic. So I don't know whether as an entity and as a committee of Vice Chancellors, you are doing something in order to see that in future, when we have something like this, still teaching and research can still continue, despite the fact that there are efforts that you people are doing. But like, for instance, if you take places like the United Kingdom, Malaysia, and other places, they are thinking of resuming classes using virtual learning. So are you still thinking toward this line, sir?
Thank you very much. Yeah, certainly there are a lot of initiatives that have been worked out to see how academic activities will resume even within the lockdown. However, there are a lot of things that need to be put in place before that can be done. The Committee of Vice Chancellors, along with the National Universities Commission and the Federal Ministry of Education, they are working hand in hand to see how an infrastructure can be put in place to address this issue of online teaching in the future. Like you understand, we have a very large student population all over Nigeria. And we know we have challenges here with the basic infrastructure to most of the institutions. So it's not something you just start within this lockdown and you think you can implement it. You have to bring the lecturers on board in terms of the modality, the platform you're going to use this teaching, and also to bring the students. We have a variety of students, from the science into the art and so many. And there are other peculiarities for the kind of programs the students are running. There are some of those particular maybe to run them online. So the university, so your vice chancellors have set up a committee who have produced also what we say strategic plan to address some of this and other projects that the committee will be willing to implement. So actually, we're looking into the future, whereby the infrastructure in terms of internet connectivity, that's necessary facilities in the institutions, and also getting the modular platform. I know that some other networks in Nigeria are willing to come in, to partner in this regard, in such a way that you'll be subsidized in terms of band subscription for the online teaching and other things. And of course, online teaching. And the lecturers, many of them, of course, also to be put in place. So until you have all that put in place, you'll not be able to start with this kind of scenario with any online activity. However, for the other smaller institutions, the private universities that have very small population, and of course not seriously affected by the ASU strike, and of course most of the activities are ongoing, and some of them already started online teaching. If I am talking to you now, and I think it's something certainly we are working on, and all the three arms: University Association, the NUC, and the Federal Ministry of Education. We hope very soon something positive will come up, will be done about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. We have a couple of our guests, participants, indicating that they will want to comment, but we can't see the hand. But we saw one, Abdullah Buba. Abdullah Buba, if you are still there, please, we want you to ask your question. Abdullah Buba. Okay, I guess Abdullah Buba is not there presently. We want to move on. Yes, we still like to go back to Professor Aja Ganat again. Professor Aja Ganat, let's hope, well, yes, we've been able to, we're still trying to see if we could unmute you. Professor Aja Ganat, you've been unmuted successfully. Yes, we want to still find out from experience during this period, quite a number
Yes.
of our colleagues. Can you hear me, Prof?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Good. Quite a number of
Yeah.
our colleagues have used this period as holiday period. In fact, we now have what we regard as a COVID-19 holiday. Is it really holiday? Should we just be sleeping and waking up? What suggestion do you have for body scholars as to how they can be active in research during this period? Professor Ajagana, please.
Thank you very much, Professor Adepoju. I don't think this is a holiday period, the period that you actually happening. I don't think this is a holiday because this thing is more than enough. You can be able to think, how are you going to go about the research? How are you going to go about actually what I mean, the concept, and also how are you going to use this time? For instance, as far as like other researches, I'm talking about non-scientific research, that is social science and humanity research. Even without the other discussants say that she's a computer science lecturer. So sometimes they don't need a lot of laboratories and all this, so they can be able to, you can be able to work with different engineer and all other research tools or protocols to be able to design short-term or long-term research, particularly pertaining to pandemic or to this topic. And for us, that we are using laboratories because the life science or the medical science, we are using laboratories, but there is a room for thinking and doing something. Like, even without the laboratory reality, the laboratory, this thing is now you not have access to laboratory, so but which you can be able to go. The student might not go, but as a researcher, you can be able to go to think about it. And even now, with this man, we are trying to get a molecular biology laboratory as the Vice Chancellor said in our Gombe University. Because this is like an opportunity for us. The task force is trying to get three laboratories, that is the laboratory, and we make sure that one, we are going to bring it down to Gombe State. That is the neuroscience laboratory there in the faculty of the medical department of human peace. We are what we have, and so that we can be able to, even after the pandemic period, we can be able to now gear our research towards molecular bioscience, so that we can be able to solve topical problems, something that the pandemic or any other problem that affects mankind. I think it's a very um, opportunity. So I don't think it's a holiday like you will sleep and sleep and sleep. No, you can be able to think out something out of actually what is happening. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We would like to also ask the Vice Chancellor, Professor Hena Fati, the same question. Please, what insight do you have for us? Suggestion for budding researchers as to the general notion that this period is just COVID-19 holiday. Professor.
I think it's wrong for one to assume. It's wrong for one to assume it's a holiday. It's not really a holiday. It's an opportunity for academics to engage or to have a time to engage deeply into so many areas. For instance, if you look at the opportunities suddenly that have become available with the outbreak of this coronavirus pandemic, there are so many advertisements going online for research grants onto this novel coronavirus. So I think opportunity for lecturers, academics to get some of these advertisement and begin to develop proposals that they're able to send to some of the organizations and get engaged in some of the things. Depending on your field, where you belong to, or what you are working on, the opportunities are so much. For example, I've come across some of those organization advertisement like the Welcome, as the Welcome, the Islamic Development Bank in Africa also has sent this advertisement calling for proposals on this research on the coronavirus. There are also like the Fogati Foundation International also has sent this, and many other organizations. And even for those who already have maybe ongoing researches by some of these international donor agencies, they also make a proposal that you can put some of these funds that are already approved for you to go into research on the coronavirus. So it's not really a holiday. It depends how somebody wants to profitably use the opportunity, the time, and to take advantage of all this so that you can beneficially use it to advance your own programs and activities. Now, so it will be a very, very wrong impression or concept for somebody to think that it's just a holiday, be sleeping and doing nothing. There are so many things that can be done. I know we don't forget that as soon as the lockdown is over, academia will come and people will be rushing to see other programs are done. So you have opportunity now to go and do your lectures, prepare your lectures, all the pending lectures, both the first semester, second semester. This is the time opportunity. You have a project for students. This is the time for you to go over these projects, go over their proposal or they have submitted this. You have postgraduate students, they are surviving this opportunity to go through them. So you don't need to be rushing at the last minute to be able to do it. That way be overwhelmed with a lot of work at hand. So it's not really a holiday. And I think I hope our colleagues will be able to take this advantage of this period to be able to work profitably and to their own advantage and to the institution at large. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. We are glad to inform you that one of the discussants is finally here, Dr. Adeleke. Dr. Adeleke, once again, is with the Institute of Education, University of Ibadan, and equally, he is the President Association of Behavioral Analysts and Psychometricians. Dr. Adeleke, is a delight to have you around.
Thank you, Professor Adepoju. I'm very grateful for involving me in this initiative. I'm sorry for coming in quite late. It's the problem of the internet connectivity. I have to relocate to another room of a colleague entirely before I could be able to link up. So I'm sorry for joining so quietly. Thanks so much.
You're much welcome. I can speak for you that it is unlike you to be late for any meeting. That we can be very sure.
No.
We asked a question earlier on before you arrived that we want to find out how has this ongoing lockdown personally affected you when it comes to research and academic activity, Dr. Adeleke.
Say not seriously affected unless for not having, maybe aside not having personal or physical contact. But as for exploring the online approach to do what I intend doing, I can say I was not affected in any way. And what I do is anytime there is an opportunity of having a break, because I see the strike we are in to be a break for anybody who has a dream, and a big dream for that matter. You need time to execute such dream. Maybe as the discussion goes on, I will share some of the dreams I was able to accomplish 2017 where we had similar strike. And by the grace of God, I've been able to achieve during this strike action again. So, and coupled with the COVID-19 lockdown, so I will share with the house what I've gained, and it's enormous. And I've become a scholar who has really fulfilled a dream and not even a dream for my personal self, is dream that I can even influence the nation and even beyond our nation. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Adeleke. We'll be glad to share from the experience later. Let's go to Baba Mahmood. Yes,
Good morning, everyone.
and welcome. Good morning.
I'm Abdusalam Mahmood. I'm a journalist, sir.
All right.
My questions goes to Professor Ajagana, and I want to know specifically the research works you were doing. Were they tailored towards finding cure, perhaps to the COVID-19 pandemic? Were some of the research work in line with finding solution or therapy for the COVID-19 pandemic?
Thank you very much, Baba Hamud. Actually, the concept I'm trying to develop, you see, actually, as far as research is concerned to address a typical issue associated with health, human health, animal health, there are two ways. Is it preventive or curative? Preventive medicine is along the line how you can be able to now think of developing a vaccine. And the other one is curative. Curative, if you have to actually take care of the sickness after it has commenced. So, as what I'm trying to actually think about is if these coronavirus patients have survived, that have recovered, we need to develop an antibody against the viral antigen. So if they have developed this antibody, if we can be able to now take their, and we can take their serum, the serum has what is called immunoglobulin. And these immunoglobulins are the protective agents in the human body. They protect the human system from infection. So these immunoglobulins are naturally protected in nature. So now we can be able to now analyze them by subjecting them to different molecular biology techniques. That is proteomics and gene array. We can be able to now analyze them and see the actual gene that's involved. Then we can be able to synthesize or manipulate this particular gene that codes for this immunoglobulin that now stopped the viral antigen. So this is another line of thinking. And the other one, that is the preventive line. The other one actually is the curative one. Which is the curative one, naturally, this our Nigeria is endowed with a lot of medicinal plants all over the nation. You can be able to, because some of them, they have antibacterial, some they have antiviral effect. So if we can be able to go back to literature, because that is the essence of continuous research, you can use someone else's report as literature how to now back up and start your own, develop concept. So if we can be able to get plants that had antiviral effect, and even now the traditional herbalists are saying that they have cure for this, what is it called, COVID-19. Even now they are saying it. So if we can be able to use their plant material, then we are going to analyze, bring out the bioactive components. Then we are now going to see the antiviral effect of the bioactive component. This is also another line of thinking. So this is what I'm actually thinking. That is what I'm actually, because normally we researchers, you think your concept, you write down your concept, then now you will sell your concept to your students, the postgraduate student, then now you will guide them to actually carry out the research, and now you will apply for grant as well. You will apply for grant, and this kind of research is not a one-person work. It has to be collaborative, sometimes national and sometimes even internationally collaborative. But at least you have to start somewhere. So this is the time the challenges has come. Now we can be able to think and start somewhere. That is what I'm actually thinking out. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Prof.